In this time of the coronavirus and its associated lockdowns and restrictions, it was a real privilege for 220 mountain bikers to be able to enjoy the wonders of a 4-day stage race. COVID-19 protocols were observed and every person, rider or crew had a rapid antigen test prior to entering the race village.
So yeah, we're looking forward to being able to get some of our training out and see some of the rest of the country. A lot of people haven't been able to travel either, so yeah, that's also been a great motivation for us.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's really great to be out racing again. I mean, we haven't raced in months, so it's really good to come out and race and, just ride again,
Masked up and ready to ride. Yes, it is day one of the Prudential PE PLETT mountain bike stage race. 4 days of riding down to Nature's Valley. Day one takes them to Humansdorp. 82 k's around just over 1,000 meters of climbing as they start from right here at Crossways. It's going to be a blast of the day. The weather's good, there's a little breeze, and it is all set. Stage racing is back here at the Prudential PE PLETT. There was a good-sized field of e-bikers who had the honour of starting first from the Crossways farm village just outside Gqeberha. The growth and popularity of e-bikes makes it a no-brainer that events like the Prudential PE PLETT accommodate them. On a long stage such as this, they had a spare battery taken forward to the second water point. The racing component was packed with pedigreed riders. Behind the masks were the likes of Amy McDougall and Jenny Stenhouse, Ben Melton, Yolandi Swanepoel, Matthijs Bierkes, Nico Bell, Matt Beers, Marco Hubert, Alan Gordon, Seppe van Wyk and Jacques-Jans van Rensburg. It was a veritable who's who of South African pro mountain bikers. The introduction to the 9th Prudential PE PLETT was a stunning section of trails on the amazing Three Rivers network. Under the passionate guidance of the Puttergill farming family, Three Rivers Trails has become one of the most popular mountain bike destinations in the country. 200 kilometres of riding, with 65 kilometres of that superbly crafted single track. Which of course is what the riders got to enjoy in the perfect early morning Eastern Cape weather. A man who knows the trails like the back of his hand, Ibuko Giants Marco Hubert led the hotshot field. Amy McDougall setting the pace for teammate Jenny Stenhouse. They were doing their first stage race together as Team Fairtree Motorlease. For many of the field, this was their first stage race since last year's Prudential PE PLETT. A short tire section led them into the J Bay Adventure Park and more sinewy, wonderful single track. Up front, Type Dev, Nanotimes, Beers and Boert had prized open a small gap to Joubert and Rudy Kuhn. DSV's Nicole Carstens and Jacques-Jans van Rensburg were working hard to close the gap. Enjoying a chilled solo ride, Paga Eurostil's hardman Matthijs Bierkes. The first water point at 32 k's was at the old Gamtoos River Bridge. Swedish champion Stenhouse doing a turn on the front as she and McDougall increased their advantage in the women's race. The water points in the event are all laid on by local businesses.
We do security all the way from Plettenberg Bay right through the whole area, the whole city, Karma, up Jeffreys Bay. We go right up to Graafry Net, and we like to be involved in. We would love to do more than one water point, and we just know so many of the people from all the years doing the water point and from the local, there's a lot of locals doing the race. So it's nice to be here, to be involved with the community and to do a community project, to support them and sponsor something.
Fantastic, yeah. We're from Joburg, riding partner and I, and it's just fantastic to be down at the coast and riding.
Where's the daughter?
Scenery is fantastic. Know the area. I've never ridden here.
The king of the mountain just outside Jeffreys Bay was taken by Beers. Imbuko Giant had Bierkes for company while DSV in third were being tailed by Nico Bell. Aware that their lead was shrinking, Beers and Boerter maintained a hard tempo. Just outside the top three were Valley Electrical Titan Racing's Robert Hobson and Rousseau Becker. The back end of this long stage tested fitness and resilience. The very welcome sight of the Prudential Boost Bar was a sign that the finish line was a few k's away. A quick chilled coffee and they'd charge home. At the Humansdorp Rugby Club, Bierkes was first across the line, but the team race was a thriller. Beers rolled over, but partner Buerta was passed by both Kun and Joubert to give Imbuko Giant the win by the slimmest of margins.
It was a really nice day, first day back again. It's really good to see everyone. It's good to race. And the first 30 Ks was awesome, all the trails. Everyone you can see was just very glad to be there. It's, as I said, it's just really fun to be here and to be racing.
It was high fives for Fairtree Modelisa Stenehag and McDougall as they took the women's race.
Not used to racing at all. It's been a while, but yeah, very nice. Fun. Finally race again.
A great day by the local youngsters Partridge Chimwendo and Angus Teaton, riding for Three Rivers Trails. Riders rolled in through the early afternoon after a fantastic opening day. The welcome at the race village was top draw, Wi-Fi connectivity from iGen. The hard-working team from Mannix Cycles fixed broken parts, replaced tyres and set gears. The bikes would be in showroom condition for stage 2. All the riders' needs were taken care of at the Prudential PE PLETT as they basked in the afterglow of a tough but rewarding first stage in the chill zone. The pre-ride rituals were many and varied as stage 2 beckoned. So what's in the lucky packet today, Bruce Campbell?
I think this is quite a new track today. We've never been here. I think we've always left from Gamtoe side. So yeah, it's going to be good fun. I think some new mountain climbs, and I've been through the golf course. That's beautiful. That single track section, quite rough. The rougher the better.
It's a spectacular morning here in Humansdorp as day 2 beckons on the Prudential PE PLETT. 67 k's, around 1,000 meters of climbing. The riders are heading away from the ocean, if you like, towards the Langkloof. Karedo is the area they're heading to, and Assegaaibosch. The racing is going to be red hot because there's less than a second between the top 2 teams, with Matthijs Bekkers, the solo leader, ahead of Nico Bell. And in the teams, it is the Imbuko Giant pair who lead the Type Dev Nanotime pair, and it's going to be red hot all the way through the racing. They said goodbye to the good people of Humansdorp and headed out of town. The various category leaders sporting specially designed leaders' jerseys. The event is unique among stage races in that it alternates direction every year. PE PLETT this year will be PLETT to PE in 2022. They were heading over the shoulder of the Karedo Mountains towards the Langkloof. The mixed leaders, Team Garmin of Ben Melt and Yolandi Swanepoel. Amy McDougall looking good in the red women's leaders jersey. Nicole Carstens following leaders and former teammate Marco Joubert and Rudy Kun. There was nothing to separate the top teams for the first third of the stage. They were like a well-ordered flock of sheep. There was the odd foray up front, but they were soon brought to order and they rolled into the Woodlands Dairy water point en masse. Stopping briefly to collect their pre-placed COVID-protected bottles.
Woodlands Dairy, first race, has been involved with this event for 9 awesome years. It's a fantastic event. It's well organized. Red Cherry and the team always make sure that the guys have our high protein recovery drink. It helps the guys get to the finish line, and what they do speaks to our brand, speaks to quality, it speaks to healthy living, and that's why we've been involved for so long, and we will continue to be involved.
I don't really know this side of George too well. It's always George to Cape Town. So for me it's very nice to ride this and see some new terrain.
This terrain out here, you're constantly on the pedals. So even though it's 60 something Ks, it's hard going on your legs, much like pioneer type racing.
The King of the Mountains was 9 kilometres from the finish. Robert Hobson led his Valley Electoral Titan Racing teammate Rousseau Becker over the top. They were in 5th place. Amy and Jenny were again in control of the women's race.
This is good enough. From here it's just a bit of a slope, but we'll get there. This is happiness.
The brevity of the stage prevented any team from opening a significant gap, and once again it came down to a sprint finish at Assegaaibosch. This time Beers and Boerta were in sync and snatched the win just ahead of Kuhn and Joubert.
On day 2 here.
Business as usual for the Fairtree Modeliste pair in the women's race.
We at Assegaaibosch, any boss up here, and what we did this year is we created a beautiful serpentine of our brand new tents, our luxury tents fitted out with duvets and pillows and bedside tables and all the goodies that you want. These new tents are a new feature of ours. We've got new shower setups that we're promising, and if we want to just compete with the best, guys, we have to have the best, and this is what luxury tent is all about. It's true glamping on Prudential PE PLETT style.
I met Mike Glover. We've been involved with him for a while, so we were once racing PE to PLETT. Now, because we formed an academy, Utando Youth Cycle Academy, so we thought, okay, let us do some fundraising, and we spoke with him a few months ago, and then he said, no, that's fine, he doesn't have a problem, he'll assist us to do the bike washer.
This race is quite taxing mentally and physically, especially physically, but I think there's a huge aspect of like focusing. And I think a huge part of yoga for me is actually bringing that awareness back into your body and really checking in with how do you feel and what maybe doesn't feel so great and what does feel good. And that's how we kind of also navigate the classes, is just by seeing where everyone's at and just checking in, and also to just relax.
All smiles before stage 3. One of the add-ons at the event was Titan Racing's generous offer to loan a bike to a rider whose steed was perhaps beyond repair, either due to a mechanical or an accident.
No, listen, we were looking for a couple of events to join and actually market our bikes that we've actually designed now. Prudential PE PLETT was number 1 on our list. Mike and Sean is putting up a proper event, and being a top-class event with a top-class bike backup sponsor as Titan. Any issues with somebody's bike, or they crashed or whatever the case is, we've got a couple of backup bikes that we can offer them at least to finish the stage. So we just thought it would be ideal and fitting to come and join their event.
First day, that thing at the back, derailleur broke, so they replaced that the first day. And second day, the axle's gone, back axle. So they've kindly given me a different bike for the rest of the race. Yeah, a bit nervous of scratching it, but it's, yeah, looking forward to it. Thanks.
2 days down, 2 to go at the Prudential PE PLETT, and today the Queen stage, because it's 61 k's, about 1,350 meters of climbing as we head from Karedo back over the mountains and finish at Tsitsikamma Lodge. It's going to be a spectacular day, as have the first two. A special day riding for the 200 riders making their way down to Tsitsikamma. The race is absolutely cooking because there's less than a second between the leading two teams, and it's going to be dogfight all the way to the finish, and a really spectacular day on the trails. The weather gods certainly were looking kindly down on the race this year. Another Eastern Cape beauty for the riders to enjoy. The mountains were calling. Type Dev Nanotime had the leaders' jerseys by a second from Mbuko Giant. Matt Piers has won pretty much every local stage race he's entered over the last few years, and together with young Wessel Botha has formed a potent combination. Regain Protea Farm is a regular on the route in both directions. Titsikama Crystal Water laid on a superb water point on the farm.
Been here since day one, since the beginning. You know, we're right under our doorsteps in the Titsikama heartland. Always been part of it. Great race to be involved in. Riders enjoy it, we enjoy it, everybody's having a great time.
The weather is playing along so beautifully, so we couldn't have asked for better weather, better scenery and better company.
Yeah, that's true. No,
Suitably refueled, they rolled on towards the forests. Leading group, Nanotime, DSV and Mbuko Giant, as well as solo leader Bierkes. The passage through a lush indigenous forest was a real highlight. The roots did cause the odd mishap. No serious damage, perhaps more speed next time. And when there's a camera, there's always one of these.
By far the most scenic route today. Actually incredible, almost crashed when we saw the ocean and the views were just incredible. So yeah, and a nice day to do it as well. Perfect weather, nice group to ride with and best of teammates, so all good.
A big endorsement from a pair who've ridden all over the world.
Here at Water Point 2, and what we're doing here is making sure these guys are hydrated properly. So we've got them some sports drink that's got your electrolytes in it, and then we're also doing some energy bars to keep the guys going. We also have got some energy gel that also has got some vitamin C in it, so that will help the guys go through the whole race.
And just in case they needed another excuse to stop, there was a Prudential Boost Bar a few k's on the finish of what was another awesome day on the bike.
Yeah, no, fantastic. Today was awesome. Beautiful riding. A little bit of climbing, not too much, but pleasant, Pleasant riding, that's for sure.
Type Dev Nanotime took the win at Titsikama Forest Lodge ahead of DSV. Stage races tend to bring people together in the most unusual way, as happened to the Lows and the Bosches from Durbanville.
So we met on the race on day one, at Water Point 1, and we started chatting, and it turns out we live 2 k's from each other. Our kids go to the same school, and we both
and we ride the same trails, but we've never met each other. We have mutual friends, and now we're friends. So that's cool. So we've had a lekker 3 days so far.
It doesn't get much better than this. Chilling at the pool after a wonderful morning ride. Enjoying a gin tasting or sampling some more of KWV's finest. And unpacking the day's riding. And then there's the sports massage team.
Typically with riders, obviously legs is going to be a big thing, but shoulders is also very important. You can imagine that position that they're holding themselves on the bike, and if they're going down a single track or a sort of a gradient area and it's sort of quite rugged, those shoulders take a lot of pressure as well. But on the whole, it is legs. So that deep tissue massage will help flush out any metabolic waste, helps sort of, I would say, stretch those muscles out if they're not stretching properly. But it's also a good opportunity just to lie in the bed, have a bit of banter with the girls, and just enjoy that half hour.
We've got our meats. For those that do meat, we've got vegetables and organics for the vegetarians. We also catered for the the lactose and the gluten-free people. We've got all our bases covered, yes. We've got about 200 cyclists with us on the 2 days, which we were doing the lunch, supper, and the breakfast in the morning. Due to the COVID that we've got, we have to dish up for themselves. They just pick out what they want and we dish up their portions for them, yes.
So final morning of the 2021 Prudential PE PLETT. What a beautiful morning, and indeed what a beautiful race it's been the last few days. It's been fantastic that we got everyone in the field through with their negative tests of the rapid testing, and then we've been able to ride some of the most beautiful trails that the Eastern Cape and indeed Western Cape has to offer. On behalf of Prudential, as always, it's been an absolute pleasure sponsoring this race, engaging with the riders. It really is an amazing race to be part of. Wishing all riders good luck for their final day, and we'll see you all next year.
The buzz of activity ahead of the final day of the Prudential PE PLETT. It's a breezy morning here at the Tsitsikamma Forest Lodge as the riders prepare for 67 Ks, just over 1,000 meters of climbing. There's work to be done today as they head down to the finish at Nature's Valley. The elite race is sensational. Just 30 seconds separates Team Type Dev Nano Times, Matt Beers and Wessel Botha, and the second place pair of Mbuko Giant, Marco Hubert and Rudy Kuhn. It is going to be a red hot racing, and of course for all the other riders in this field, the conclusion of 4 days of just fantastic mountain biking all the way from Crossways down to Nature's Valley.
As it turned out, the predicted high winds didn't materialize and conditions were perfect once more. Dropped down the old Storms River Pass and up the other side. Hubert and Kuhn of Mbuko Giant hugging the wheels of Beers and Botha. They needed just 35 seconds. A warm welcome from the early risers in Storms River Village. The Tsitsikamma Range's highest peak, Formosa Peak, in the distance, presiding over this beautiful region. The mixed, vets and masters leaders all rolled through the first water point.
It's nice, eh? Very pleasant. Thought the wind would be a bit worse, but it's actually not that bad. And the first 6 Ks we just stayed with the front group, which is very pleasant.
They ducked under the busy N2 via the Kleinbos River. Insect Science, Sepp Effenwyk and Alan Gordon had enjoyed a solid race. They were 4th on GC. The riders could smell the finish at Nature's Valley. Birthday boy Franco van Sail of Mbuko Giant gunning it for glory. The lead group stayed together for most of the stage, no one able to break away. The final challenge was the portage down Pig's Head, just a few kilometres from the finish. A mechanical for Rudy Kuhn cost Mbuko Giant dearly. There was a short beach ride, and then it was all done.
Well, it's been a long time coming, the finish line of a stage race, but we've done it. The Prudential PE PLETT has concluded here at Nature's Valley, having started at Crossways 4 days ago. A stage win today, and the overall win for Team Type Dev Nano Times, Matt Beers and Wessel Botha.
We knew obviously there's the first 2 climbs, but it's so early on in the race, and I knew that if there was any way to get away, it would probably be there. So we drilled the pace and kind of knew nothing would happen. It's not steep enough. But yeah, I think there was a lot of opportunity to get punctures and stuff today, so that was we just had to be on it. And yeah, fast rolling stage, and we knew it would come down to the end here.
And of course the women's race taken by Amy McDougall and her partner Jenny Stennehaag of Fairtree Motorlease.
Yeah, it's been good. We've been riding so well together. I've really enjoyed riding with Amy, and yeah, super happy to a new teammate, and that it worked out so well.
But every single rider who's finished this event will feel justifiably proud. It's a tough ride, but they've concluded it in spectacular fashion here in Nature's Valley.
Yeah, it was one of those races that just every day was better than the next. First day you can see it's a bit of a traverse to get you from one place to the other. and then some beautiful parts of the Eastern Cape that you are privileged to ride through. And you know, it was a lekker 4 days. You know, very cool, nice small field, amazing scenery. Haven't ridden the Eastern Cape much, so for me it was such a treat.
Where do we go to from here? 9 down, 1 to go. Next year's our 10th one. Next year we start at Curland and we start heading all the way back to Port Elizabeth again on some new tracks that we've discovered. It's really been great for me moving to Plett recently. She was able to give me the opportunity to explore a whole lot more. So guys, you can't miss this one. 10th year next year. Once again, our new date will be March. So look forward to seeing you all back here for a Plett to PE.